I think like 2 or 3 years ago, I had Shudder and I saw it was on there, and I was on my period at the time, and I was like, I know what I'm watching.
All right. You want to talk about ginger snaps?
Yes, ginger snaps with my snaps.
no, no. Yeah, they went heavy on the period stuff.
Yeah, I loved it.
I was just like I wasn't weirded out by it, but I was like, it's such an interesting thing that like isn't touched on in movies. Like
Mm-hmm.
people like it the subject is touched on, but it's not like visual like this. So it's like I was kind of like, huh. And from Canada, not the ballsiest of people. So that's
Yeah.
weird. Like it just I was so strange to me. Like a Canadian movie's gonna do this. Okay. All right.
Hot take indeed.
Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't just like once, it was like throughout the movie.
Oh yeah. It was great. And I loved when their mom said, and you know, you should be getting your period soon. three
Yeah.
years late,
Yeah.
3 years behind. And I was like, I feel that because I was a late bloomer too. So yeah.
Yeah, the mom character like cracked me up. There were so many shit. Like this movie felt so fucking 90s to me. And
I
it was
loved it.
I mean I enjoy it, but like it's weird because like I enjoy this like shitty campy 90s horror, and then I
Mm-hmm.
watch like Halloween H2O that is an actual 90s horror, and I'm like, this is so fucking stupid. And I don't know what like the difference was, because it just reminded me so much of it that it couldn't have been like different, and that's why I like it. So
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting there, I was like, what about, I could not figure out what about this movie is okay and Halloween H2O isn't. Like I could not figure it out. I still don't know. I'm still lost on that.
I don't remember Halloween H2O having that much of a plot, except Jamie Lee Curtis dies.
Well, yeah, but also this doesn't have a plot. This is bit by werewolves try to figure it out. So it's not
Yeah,
like
that's a plot.
that. Well, yeah, it is a plot. Michael Myers coming back a hundredth time is a plot, but like this one packed in, I feel like this movie packed in a bunch of different plots. It was like, okay, coming of age, like female story, werewolf, uh, like sisterhood, and then like it was,
Codependency,
yeah, I was just like, dude,
safe sex. Yeah,
yeah, it was so many things. I was like, what is, am I watching a PSA? Is this the coolest PSA ever? Is this what they do in
maybe.
Canada?
Maybe. I don't know. The way it was shot, like, was pretty cool to me. Like, some of the camera angles and, like, opening, like, scenes were pretty good. And just, like, aesthetics, like, with the colors, like, they had a lot of, like, burnt orange.
Yeah,
And then they had, like, a lot of, like, indigo,
yeah.
blue, and purple. I was like, this is my jams. This is my jams.
uh
So,
yeah, the like it's funny because like okay, it's Canadian, but it looks like it was filmed like in here. Like
yeah,
it
if it
looks,
weren't for the accents,
yeah.
you
And
wouldn't have known.
the only accent that I heard ever that was like, oh yeah, it kept like reminding me that it was Canadian was the Brigitte when she would say sorry. That
Yeah.
was it. Like everybody else was totally like I didn't really catch it on an accent, maybe a little bit with Sam, but like
Hmm.
when she was like sorry, I was like, oh yeah, Canada. I forgot again that place exists again. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just
I
grew up with
am.
South Park, so like I just immediately joined
Oh.
Canada.
So good. So good the way they portray them in the show.
Yeah.
I loved it. But yeah, Bridget's character, I loved Bridget's character.
Hmm.
I just something about her just really resonated with me. Like I saw myself in her.
Really?
Yeah.
hoodie girl. Like
Yeah.
you're just being Bridget right now.
Yeah. The
Uh,
older I get, the more Bridget I am.
I started as Ginger, but now I'm more. It's like the Sex and the City
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, that's my character arc for real.
uh, yeah, I really really liked her. I mean, the only actors worth anything in this movie was like Sam, Bridget, Ginger, and the mom. Like
Yeah.
everybody else in the movie sucked, and like
Oh,
they were just
yes.
filler in like pushing the story along. But Bridget, yeah, like her demeanor is a lot is reminiscent of like Wednesday. She's very
Mhm.
like just like head down, leave me alone kind of thing. Yeah. So I enjoyed her. I felt kind of bad for her because she was like just doing whatever her sister wanted most of the time.
Yeah. Her sister like was mean to her a lot even
Yeah.
before she got bit. Yeah, it was a lot of codependency going on
Yeah.
in that movie between the two of them.
Um, all right. So who stood out the most in this movie for you?
Um I would say Bridget stood out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely starts like as the focus is Ginger, and then it slowly like builds toward or starts pushing towards Bridget, and then like she just runs the rest of the movie. At first she's kind of like timid, and then she starts just taking control and being like, no, don't cut your tail off or whatever. So
Yeah.
um
Oh.
who was who or what was the show breaker for you? Like what did you not like?
So I really hated when Ginger kicked the dog.
Mhm.
Like I know that the werewolf or whatever, the OG one was like killing the dogs, but we didn't actually see anything bad happen to the dogs. We
Mhm.
just saw dog carcass, whatever.
Mhm.
But the act of her kicking the dog, I was like, I really don't fucks with that. And then the janitor dying.
Yeah, that was a bummer
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, because I was like, I mean, some of the other kills, I was like, all right, I mean, that's justified, but the janitor was always nice to Bridget.
Okay.
What?
I was gonna say I feel like you can't go into a horror movie with morals, or else you're going to be disappointed a lot. Like that will be something that you have to bring up with every horror movie. Like, well, this person deserved it, but this person totally didn't.
I mean, it's not like, when I say that, it's not necessarily like a strike against the movie. I'm just
Right.
saying it was like, it bummed me out. It made me feel something.
Anyway, the point is, I am having, this is crazy, but I'm having feelings again. Like some kind of 14-year-old kid or something. I mean, you remember feelings, right?
Yeah, I have feelings every single day of my life. Do you? Are you saying you don't have feelings?
Yeah,
Remember
I was like,
feelings?
no, the janitor. He was
Yeah,
so good.
I didn't understand why they I mean, like, I guess it was a way of showing that like Ginger is just beyond control now. Because like
Mm-hmm.
before she was killing people, like she killed the guidance counselor or whatever because she had to, because he knew and he was going to tell. But the janitor was just like, fuck it. And like I
Yeah.
think that that was like the switch, and it was late enough in the movie that like that was the switch where now there's no controlling Ginger, like there's no
Yeah.
reasoning, there's no human part for the most part. Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see that. My showbreaker was like the whole movie. Like I meant the acting, not the whole movie, but like the acting in the movie. Like every character was just like, and the werewolf's face at the end, like that looked like they stretched a like CVS werewolf mask over top of something. It was just too long. It was like this wide, and it's like eyes were like this, and I was like, why? Like werewolves are supposed to have like big scary eyes, but
Yeah. I don't know. They could remake it, but I don't think I'd enjoy the remake. There's just something about the way they did this,
yeah.
even with all of its like nuances,
Mhm.
and imperfections. I
Yeah,
still
I
love
don't
it.
think I think that if they did try to remake this, they would definitely ruin it. just leave this one alone. Like,
Mm-hmm.
leave most of them alone, but this one
Yeah.
is like a special little thing. Like,
Yeah,
just
it's
leave it alone.
divisive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was like your cinema wow? Like,
My cinema wow. Um, so I really liked the opening credits when they're doing that like death photo shoot.
yeah, yeah,
That was just so gnarly and so good. And it was just like super goth and like
yeah,
a little bit corny because I'm just like, oh my, I wasn't even that fucking emo. Like it was just
yeah,
like to an extreme, but I was like, all right, cool. And then I liked Ginger's like partial transformation when she's like, I want to say like 3/4 of the way there, and she's like walks into the Halloween party
mhm,
and she looks fucking terrifying, but she's also like terrifyingly hot.
yeah,
And
yeah.
the tail for me was good. That was some good special effects. I forgot about that. I was like, oh shit, this bitch got a tail, it's wiggling around.
Yeah, the tail thing, like, obviously it has to have a tail. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
guess it doesn't have to, but it's an interesting perspective, or it's an interesting take on the werewolf, like this slow transition. Because normally the
It's
transition is
fast.
like boom, this is like a slow transition, which makes you think like they're not actually talking about werewolves. They're just talking about like puberty in general.
Mm-hmm.
I think the choice to make 3/4 werewolf ginger snaps be like seductive was like, I wonder if the director has like a thing for werewolves, because that shit was so unnecessary. It
Oh
was like
yeah.
I was like, why? Why would she come in here like this? Like, she's on the verge of eating. She just ate people actually for funsies. Like, and now she's at this party like trying to seduce this dude. Like, what the fuck? No.
Yeah, she's just confident and she's like mad at her sister also. So like she's like doing shit to just like hurt her now. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I also like for some reason in Hollywood, like sex sells and they're gonna exploit that even if they're portraying high school kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Which like it's fine because in reality we know they're actually like old enough to be
Yeah.
doing that. Otherwise, like they would be sued 6 ways from Sunday if they were
Right.
actually like underage. But I don't know.
Yeah, that's a weird thing in Hollywood that it was something that I didn't even think about, because every time I watch a movie like in the high school era, like American Pies, any of those things, like I put my like I mentally am in high school too. Like,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
know I need to be to laugh at their stupid like dick and
Hmm.
fart jokes. So like I just like revert in my brain. So it never even crossed my mind until somebody pointed it out. I was like, they're like totally sexualizing a high schooler. And I was like,
Yeah.
ugh. I think you just ruined like 90% of raunchy comedies for
Oh
me. Like,
no.
what the fuck, dude?
But that's a good point that you have about like that's how you know it's a good movie is if like it like brings you in and like kind of like puts you in that mindset where
Yeah.
like you're almost a part of it even if
Yeah.
like you're not actually in it.
Yeah. Like super
Yeah.
bad. Like, well, it's because like most of those experiences, I've had those experiences or a version of them. So
Hmm.
like when I'm
Someone started
like,
their period on your leg while dancing at a
yeah,
party.
dude, it was weird. And
That's
Danny
another
would,
period movie.
yeah, yeah, exactly. See, that one was downplayed. It was just like a little thing. Like Ginger was like straight dripping on the floor, and I was
I
like,
know.
"Whew, all right, cool.
It
Let's."
doesn't happen that way. It'd be running down her leg instead,
Well, I think
like in
it
the park.
does. Yeah. So yeah, at least they got it accurate once. That makes it all better. But yeah,
Yeah.
so like I've had those experiences, so I can like nostalgia like kicks in, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that kind of situation. Like, yeah.
Hmm.
And then I was like, well, can't watch high school movies anymore. Like, I'm just gonna
Sorry.
watch Dodgeball and Old School over and over and over again because they're all adults.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so soundtrack. is hilariously 90s.
Yeah, it reminded me of the Goosebumps TV show a little bit.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
not the opening credits, but like during the show, you know, like the score of it, where it's like some of it's just like dramatic. It's got like some piano.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of, and like that was also a Canadian show.
Yeah, I could not stop laughing at the butt rock metal, like the Canadian metal that was playing during all the cool scenes.
Mm-hmm.
It was just so, again, that was so 90s to me, because that was like the thing. Anything like intense happening in horror movies in the 90s, they found some like butt rock band and was like, can we use one of your songs? And then just wore it out throughout the whole entire movie.
Hell yeah, loved that.
But yeah, that there was like strings at the end, and those were really good. I was like, oh, that's a fun way to end this. I
Yeah,
didn't expect that. I don't
yeah.
think I keyed in on that music so much as I did like the butt rock, because it's
Oh
funny.
yeah, for sure, for sure. The special effects though, like all the gore and stuff,
Mhm.
it was it definitely reminded me of like going into like a haunted house, like your local haunted
Mhm.
house during Halloween, or like going to fucking Spirit Halloween.
Mhm.
Like it was decent for its time, but like if I were to go there today, like that's what I would basically see.
Mhm.
And it was, I don't know, it was like made me nostalgic. I was like, I miss Halloween.
I miss Halloween already.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely, it feels like at the time, and probably with whatever budget and technology they had, it was decent enough at that time.
Yeah,
But now looking at it, it's like the animatronics at Spirit.
for
Like
sure.
it's just like, rawr.
Yeah, it's like you'd be really impressed if someone like put that up at their house, but not if you saw it in a movie.
Yeah. What was the thing that just like, oh, that's badass.
Um, I thought what was badass for me was just going back to those opening credits.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and also like the very end of it,
Yeah.
when, because at first for some reason I had it in my mind that it was gonna show like Bridget after the fact
Mm-hmm.
and like going on with her life,
Well, there's
but
Ginger Snaps 2 and 3.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Does it have Bridget in it? Like OG?
I didn't watch them. I haven't seen them.
All right, well, I'll have
But
to
they're on
investigate.
Peacock. They're on Peacock if you search it, or Tubi, or one of them. But if you search it, like 2 and 3 come up. I know the main girl, Ginger, Catherine, whatever her name is, she's not in it. Maybe this Bridget is. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Um, but I liked the beginning. That was badass, and I also liked the end when she finally kills Ginger
Mhm.
and she's like laying on her till she dies.
Yeah.
I was like, that's really tugging on my heartstrings. But
Because we've all been there. We've had to kill our werewolf sister until she stops breathing.
yeah, there was just so much good shit in this movie. What were your badass moments?
I mean, I didn't have one like specifically, I don't think. Um, but I did enjoy like the 90s drug montage while they're like making the Andy serum or whatever.
Oh God,
Like
yeah.
I've seen like, so like, what is it, fucking Rec Room for a Dream, Go, like all those 90s movies where they're just like doing that little quick cut, like burning the fucking spoon and all that shit.
Oh
I
my
was just
God,
like,
yeah.
I wonder if they realize that that's what they've accomplished with this. This no longer seems like and antidote, it just seems like some shit that like they're just gonna pump up. But
so when he was getting he like flicks the syringe in the movie, right? But he flicks it. He flicks it before he even gets all the air out of it, and I'm pretty sure you're supposed to flick it after you get the air out of it.
Well, I mean, with that much air, which also, how did you do that? With that much air, you could squeeze it up to the front and then like squeeze a little bit and then squeeze a little bit. But yeah, I was just like, this is fucking ridiculous, dude. Like, you're gonna kill somebody with that air bubble, bro. Like,
yeah. Oh shit.
And he's just like, I don't really know what the levels are, and just nails it the first time. Like, okay, buddy.
I also thought it was badass how they found that girl's fingers in the yard, and the mom was just like,
my baby's
and put it in a Tupperware container. Yeah. And then when she sorry.
No, go ahead. I just thought it was funny that she brought him with her. Like,
I know, right?
Like, and she's talking about burning down the house. Well, they buried the body next to the house, like in the little shed, so that wouldn't burn down. So they would still find the body and then realize you're on the run, like,
right?
And you're carrying evidence with you. Like, there's so many things wrong. All right. The dad gets the usual, like, just sit there and shut up kind of thing. Like, I'm lost. They're girls. I don't know how to do this. Like that whole like dumb trope. And then the mom, like when Bridget's like, no, she thinks it's cool that you're letting her figure it out. And she's like, really? That's what I was hoping. That's what I was going for. Like, oh God, don't be that person.
I also thought it was kind of like an interesting take when Ginger fucks that guy without protection, but then like she sexually transmits the werewolf disease.
Yeah, werewolf them.
Like lycanthropy.
Yeah.
And also Sam is like talking about werewolves. He was like, that was a lycanthrope.
Yeah.
That jumped in but he like pronounces lycanthrope. He's like lycanthrope or something weird like that. He like really does a hard R.
It's funny that he just like jumped to it immediately.
Yeah.
Like, not maybe that was a big dog. She was like, what did you hit? And he was like, no, lycanthrope.
Yeah,
like,
not even werewolf or like wolf.
Yeah. You wouldn't believe me anyways, lycanthrope. It's a werewolf. Do you know where there's werewolves? Like, whoa, man, calm down. Why did you jump down? Like, I'm honestly glad that that's kind of how it went. Because one, the movie would have had been like 2.5 hours if they had to go through like, what's happening to her? We need to figure it out. Like that whole thing that they do normally. I'm glad that they just like, you get it. It's a werewolf movie, so we're just gonna move on. And like, that was probably for the best.
Did you have any like favorite quotes?
No, not really.
I wrote a couple down.
Shoot them off. Let's hear them.
I like when she first gets her period and she's like, I just got the curse.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly how I felt. I was like, it's a really weird experience.
Yeah.
When you get your period, because it's just like, I don't really know who I am anymore. This is weird. Who have I become just now? And then, when she's like, after she killed her first kill, it's the dog next door. She's like, I get this ache. I thought it was for sex, but it's to tear everything to fucking pieces. And I was like, hell yeah. Like that could easily be on like a metal track at the beginning of it, you know, if it's not already.
It might be on a Kill Whitney Dead track.
Yeah.
It would not surprise me.
And then the part after she kills the janitor, Bridget's like, you wrecked everything for me that isn't about you. Now I am you. And she like swaps blood with her.
Yeah.
Does like a blood oath. I thought that part was pretty badass. That's like codependency. That's like a good quote for that.
Yeah, I mean they're definitely super codependent. That I wrote that down. I think that's interesting. Why are these girls so macabre? Like this is not a normal level of teenage angst. This is like the outer reaches of it, and both of them live in Caucasia, like big
Yeah.
house, green grass, like nice parents that let you do whatever. Like, why are you like this? Like just
I
like
don't
that.
know.
I feel like even the outcast at school thing is not a suitable, like maybe with like the way they dress and stuff, but like the overly obsessed with like death and like their little like cool rhyme thing that they have about a suicide pact, and like
Yeah.
it's just over the top dramatic for no reason whatsoever.
I think a lot of it is a stereotype. And then I also, if you want to get into like the psychology of it, I think going back to what you said earlier about like why the fuck is the older one so codependent on the younger one? I think Ginger was probably just like super outcast in school, and I think she's probably the more disturbed one,
Yeah.
and just kind of like got Bridget in with it because like I'm a younger sister, so when I was growing up, for whatever reason, I looked up to whatever my sisters, whatever like my siblings were doing.
Mm-hmm. When
Some people are
she,
just born fucked up.
I mean, yeah, I guess I've always been into like dark shit, but I didn't
Well, you're
make
not
murder
like,
photos.
yeah, you're not like psychotic type fucked up.
But yeah, I'm fairly macabre. Anyways, ginger
Yeah, and
snaps.
that's fine, but like some people are like actually disturbed. Like I feel
Mhm.
like if this wasn't supernatural,
Mhm.
this could easily be like Columbine,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, that's definitely
Like
the
it's like
vibes that it gives off.
it's that level. Like you can be into macabre shit but not want to like kill people. Can we talk about the gym scenes when they're playing field hockey
Sure.
and they're smoking on the field
Mhm.
and the teachers say nothing? There's a rotting dog carcass in the middle of the field that Brigitte gets fucking pushed into,
Yeah,
and that
nobody
nobody
noticed.
saw that before. Everyone was just standing around it, and all the dudes like, don't, I'm sorry, but you're on the bleachers checking those girls out, and he's one of the guys is like, yeah, look at it jiggle or something weird. And it's like, sir, do you not have a fucking class to be at right now? Is this your study hall? What is the fuck is going on?
Those dudes will get this movie canceled. But yeah, the dog thing is fucking hilarious. Like I even wrote down, LOL, that dog came from nowhere. Like,
Yeah. Like,
but
what the fuck? That's so embarrassing too. Like, I felt so embarrassed for her because I felt so like tied
yeah,
to her and drawn to
yeah.
her, and I was like, oh, imagine if that was like I was putting myself in her shoes. I was like, I can't believe that just happened.
I mean, I stepped in a dead deer one time by accident, but like
Mhm.
not pushed face first into
In
a
front of a
ram.
lot of people
Yeah,
in high
yeah,
school.
yeah,
Ugh.
exactly.
And I will say that one kill that I was definitely like happy about was that one chick, the one who did the pushing into the dead dog,
Mhm,
because she's like goes to their house and she's like, you stole my dog, and
mhm.
then she's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, give me my fucking dog, and then she like slips on something and she like hits her head really hard and she like kills herself.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
I
like,
would
that's
have.
what you get, bitch.
It's so weird to me that they like tried to cover it up. Like, yeah, they could have just called the cops and be like, she broke in here and then fell.
Hmm.
All right, see you later. Like the fun, like all that shit was so unnecessary. She broke in here bitching about her dog and slipped on this shit, hit her head. Dexter would have come along and been like, that's what happened. And then they would have been at school the next day, still trying to figure out how to make her not be a vampire werewolf.
Hmm. Yeah.
Also, uh I will mention this, how completely unnecessary putting that chest piece on the werewolf was.
Oh, the boobs.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, like full on
ridiculous.
titty,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a breast.
And not only that, but like when she's like 3/4 of the way there, like that
Mhm.
makeup was also weird. And like at that point,
It
just
was
like
so wrinkly.
don't do it, don't worry about it. But then when the actual werewolf was a werewolf, it had like hanging boobs, and gingers were not that big. Like
No.
they grew like proportionately to like Dog the Bounty Hunter's wife. Like I was just like, what the fuck? Why are they there? First of all, and second of all, why are they so big? Like, what is happening
Yeah.
right now?
Why are we sexualizing a dog?
Yeah,
Oh man. Yeah, I saw that too, like especially at the end when she's like kind of laying on her side.
yeah.
And it's like that's a whole ass breastises right
Mm-hmm.
there.
Yeah,
What the hell?
it's an entire werewolf titty. Okay.
Yeah. Go
I
off.
like yeah, it just did not make sense. I was like, why? The choices that they made in this movie of like where to put detail and how and what to focus on. That I like now I almost feel like I need to watch 2 and 3 and then
Yeah.
also just read about these movies to see exactly what the fucking point was. Because the 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 choices, there's so many odd choices to make in this movie, and they made every one of them. I just feel like the werewolf thing is just a metaphor in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But because there's a physical werewolf, then it's hard to like make it metaphorical. You know what I mean? Same thing with like Carrie. Like Carrie, like her thing set off her psychic abilities. So that makes sense. But like the period didn't set off her being a werewolf. She got attacked by a werewolf. So now the period thing's an extra thing. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like, so I was like, what storyline it's like there's two storylines. There's the werewolf storyline, then there's like the coming of age, like you got your period storyline. And they just like do this through the entire movie. And I'm like, but which one is the point of the movie? Like
I
they didn't heavy hand one versus the other, really.
I don't know. I think they were like interwoven on purpose. I think they went hand in hand because no one is just going to watch a movie about a teen girl starting her period and then being hormonal, right? So, unless you're like a Christian or something and it's preaching abstinence, but like I don't know. I enjoyed it for that reason because it was just like, all right, this is about like coming of age, periods, hormones, like everything it has to do with like being a teenage girl but like also badass, and teenage girls can be fucking monsters.
Did you see
I
the did you see the giant pad that Bridget was wearing when Ginger kicks her?
No.
Yeah, it's like, so Ginger gives her that like real like nonchalant like nudge kick that's supposed to be like she's kicking the shit out of her, but it doesn't even look like she is. When Bridget's on the floor and she's got her sweater like this and she's like, oh, or whatever, if you look closely, you can see that she's wearing like a pad from like here to like her butt, and it's like it almost looks like a kidney pads for like a football outfit, but
Mm-hmm.
it like wraps all the way around her. And like I was like, wait a second, she was wearing that and you gave her that weak ass kick? Like I would have kicked the shit out of her. I would be like, all right, you
Oh
got that pad
shit.
on, I'm gonna try and punch you across this room. Like,
Oh my god, I did not even fucking notice that.
yeah, it's like
Good catch.
they did a good job of like concealing it, but like she's not shaped like that. There's like, if you look, you're like, the fuck is that? Like she's just thicker. Like she has like the smoothest, most roundest love handles or something. I don't know. But
Yeah.
yeah, I
I
didn't know.
also
I didn't know if you saw it or not.
No, I didn't, but that's an awesome catch. I like the part when Sam's laying there dying and he's like gasping for air. There's a lot of gasping, like like really like hyperventilating. But anyways, and Ginger's like licking his puddle of blood or like drinking it.
Yeah.
And I guess she's not fully going after Brigitte because she can like smell that she's like turning or whatever, or that she's like kind of like her. But then she's like, you better drink, bitch. And so then she's like trying to drink the fucking and then she fucking throws up all over his face. That was fucking hilarious.
That's horrible, dude. Like, you get involved with these sisters. One,
you're just trying to help.
You're just a 38-year-old botanist that came up with the cure for being a werewolf. No big deal. And then
that sells drugs to high schoolers and like kind of dates one.
Yeah. Dude, you get fucking eaten by one and thrown up on by the other one. That's the fucking, I would have just like sat up and been like, fucking really right now? So that would have been like my last words.
I would have felt so insulted, like, bitch, you just threw up my blood.
Yeah.
Really? How could you throw my blood up on me?
Your sister seems to be fine with it. What the fuck's your deal?
Yeah. What do you not like about it?
To be fair, she did like have several handfuls before she was like, I can't. Like,
that's what she says too. She's like, I can't. Yeah. And then Ginger's like, bitch, and she goes after her and like tries to kill her.
So obviously you had fun watching this, so this was a thrill, not a kill.
Oh, absolutely a thrill.
Yeah. It was on the thrill side instead of kill side. Like, I'm not going to say, like, I've had more fun making fun of the movie than I did watching it, but like,
like it has its moments, you know?
Yeah. New ticket prices and popcorn, drinks, all that shit. Like, this was a new movie that just came out. Would you go see it?
If I was like, I don't go to the movies that often as an adult, but back when I was like younger, a teeny bopper, I went all the time.
Yeah.
And if it was like one of those, I'd be like, yes. Ginger snaps. Go off.
All right. I would not pay to see this. I would sneak into it, but I'd also bring like pads. That shit was funny when Bridget was like, don't forget your pads, like yells it at her. And she's like, what the fuck, dude? She's like clearly turning into like bad bitch on the verge of werewolf. And she's still super embarrassed by her little sister yelling that shit at her.
And when she gets in the car with the guy and she's like, she's ovulating. And she's like, what the fuck? And everyone's like,
yeah. Oh, I did that last week. Like, it happens to everybody. What the fuck are y'all even like? All right. So do you think this could be a cult classic?
I know it is.
Do you think it is already?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to make that face at me about it.
I'm defensive. It is.
Yeah, it fucking is. Yeah, I think so too. How many stars would you give this?
5.
All right. Cool. 5 stars. All right.
It's a good movie. There's like so many, like, it's just layers of like important themes.
Yeah, it is. I think
that's okay.
I'll give it 4.
As long as you don't give it less than 3, because if you give it less than 3, you'd be lying to yourself. So.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Yeah, no, I think I want to say like 3.5, just over halfway. Like, it's better than that. It deserves more than that. So yeah.
Hell yeah. And you just earned your feminist membership card.
Oh, okay. Because I didn't make a bunch of weird faces when you were talking about your period. That gets me a membership card to the feminist club.
Yeah.